Hello, crew. I realize it has been some time since your last mission to Starbase 4. I also realize you have a new crew member, Ambassador Isabella. Because of this, the following training exercise should be watched so as to prepare you for your mission to the planet Claudio. Please pay attention to a great escapade of the legendary Captain Kirk, and pay attention to his problem-solving skills. It may aid you in the coming up mission. Good luck. Hey guys, before we start, I just want to remind you of a couple of terms. The first term is task. A task is just something you're trying to accomplish. For example, Scotty fixing the hyperdrive. That is a task. The second terms I would like to tell you about or remind you about is attributes and disciplines. These are qualities that each character has. You may remember them. Attributes are control, fitness, presence, daring, insight, and reason. And the disciplines are command, security, science, con, engineering, and medicine. So you have attributes and you have disciplines. If you have questions about what each of those means, talk to me. But for each task, you will combine your attribute and your discipline that is related to that task. So for example, if it's Scotty fixing the hyperdrive, it might be reason and engineering. You combine them to get a target number, say it's 13, and then you must roll beneath that target number to get it. If the difficulty is 2, you need to have 2 dice roll beneath the target number. If the difficulty is 3, you need 3 dice to roll below the target number. Okay? Okay. Every dice beneath the target number is a success. The other term I want to talk about is focus. Every character has certain focuses. These are like certain abilities that they know particularly a lot about. So for example, it might be writing for Catherine. If it's writing, then any task that relates to that focus, if you roll especially good, you can get an extra success. So, for example, say you were using a focus and you rolled. Say your target number was 10 and the discipline that uses engineering. So let's say Scotty. For example, say Scotty was rolling to fix the hyperdrive. Okay? Scotty was using reason and engineering. Well, his engineering was a 4. Okay? And say when he rolled the dice, he had a 3. That 3 wouldn't count as just 1 success, it counts as 2 because he was using a focus and it was below his engineering discipline. The only other term I want to go over with you guys is value. Now you guys can use value once a mission, so once a day, right? Every time we play, you can use value once to use a determination. A determination just counts as rolling like a 1. It rolls a 1 automatically. A 1 counts as 2 successes. So say you were doing a task and the difficulty was 3. You decided to use a determination, that would count as already 2 successes. So you just need 1 of your 2 other dice to be below your target number. I know these things are kind of confusing, but the main thing is understanding how tasks work. The following example may help you guys understand it better. Captain Kirk, Spock, and Nurse Chapel have just beamed down onto the Warbird and in search of the cloaking device that they would like to steal from the dangerous Romulans to give to the Federation. They have beamed down to a hall close to the bridge. They see a door to the left and to the right, another door titled Detention Area, and an elevator in front of them. The entrance to the bridge is behind them. What do you do? I am Nurse Chapel. I go to the detention block. What kind of person would be in there? After all, Romulans don't take prisoners. I follow. As do I. You enter the detention room. There you see a Klingon prisoner. Gritting his tired, angry face, he gets up and spits on the ground. Federation scum, he says. Before I step in the door, I scan the room for security cameras. You see one in the corner. I try to deactivate it. That is a simple task, difficulty of 1, using engineering and control. I rolled an 8 and a 15. I succeeded in my task. I go up to the Klingon and ask him to help us. What exactly do you say? Sir, we are from the Federation. We can offer you asylum from this jail. I have no doubt you have been a prisoner here because you have the same desire we have to find the cloaking device. Do you know where the engineering room is? Negotiating with a Klingon is never an easy task, but the Klingon is very tired from being a prisoner from the Romulans. The difficulty is 2. You use reason and command. I roll both of my d20 dice. I got a 5 and a 6. Both are below my target number. Therefore, I completed the task. The Klingon says, "Very well, I will help you. These Romulans must be stopped if I'm ever to get home. The engineering room is on the 3rd deck. I have no doubt that the device would be in there." I want to spend a memento to make the result of this task even better. I realize since we don't have any momentum right now, I have to put 2 threat into the threat pool. By the way, threat is just currency for the game master, in the same way that momentum is currency for us. The Klingon says, "Here, it would be unhonorable for me to give you information without a chance to defeat these villains. Here, take this." And the Klingon gives you a weird camera-looking device that he says is able to translate Romulan into its own native language. What do you do now? I shoot the Klingon on stun. I don't trust him. No Klingon would act like this and want to help us. Then I move outside and go to the elevator to get to deck 3. I follow. At this point, I put 2 threat into the threat bowl. There is subspace interference, and you are no longer able to talk to the Enterprise. You do exit the elevator, and there is a Romulan starting to walk around the corner. What do you do? I would like to avoid a battle. I run over and try to use a Vulcan nerve pinch. The Romulan sees you coming, so this becomes a difficulty of 3, with daring and security. In that case, I use a momentum to purchase an extra d20 to help my odds. Okay. Dang it, I rolled an 8, a 10, and an 18. I didn't succeed because only 2 of the dice were below my target number. The Romulan rushes you as you enter a battle sequence. He grabs onto Kirk. Well, in combat, I know I can take a minor action and a major action. Since I am already close to him, I know I can engage him right now. And I could hit him, but I choose to grapple onto him instead. I know that the difficulty of this is 2. It's a fitness and a security. Man, I fail. Here, the Romulan uses a minor task to step back from Kirk and a major task to use a weapon on Spock. This is a control plus security task of 2. Since it's a range attack, it is not opposed. The Romulan aims, looks Spock in the eye, and fires his weapon. It inflicts damage on Spock. Well, the phaser has a rating of 2. So he rolls 2 6-sided dice, a 3 and a 4. But Spock has an armor, so he rolls 1 6-sided dice. He rolls a 3. This means that Spock is hurt by 4. His stress goes down by 4. This is tough. I move close to him and I lunge at him with a right hook. I know this is an opposed task, so we both roll with a difficulty of 1. The target number is, I roll an 8 and a 9. He rolls a 7 and a 17. That means I win because I had more successes than him. I had 2 and he only had 1. And I gain a momentum since I had 2 successes. And it only needed 1 since the task was a difficulty of 1. Now I roll a 6-sided die to see how much I hurt him. I roll a 6. He also rolls 1 since he has a resistant die of 1. He rolls a 1. That means I hurt him 5. He only has 1 health point left. I use a minor task to aim and a major task to fire with my phaser. But you haven't drawn your weapon. Shoot, aiming would have helped me by adding an extra dice. Anyway, I use a minor task to grab my phaser and a major task to fire. I'd like to put 2 threat in the threat pool so I can add an extra dice. Instead of just rolling 2, now I can roll 3. Okay. Sweet, I rolled an 8, 9, and a 10. I both succeeded in the task, and since I had an extra success, the difficulty was 2, and I had 3 successes, I get an extra momentum for the team. Yes, your shot was true. Roll the 6-sided dice to see the damage. A 6, and he rolled a 1. Look at that, I knocked him unconscious, since I damaged him 5. Good work, y'all knock him unconscious. Okay, now you guys make your way into the engineering room. I wait outside for intruders. I go in. The 2 of y'all go in and you see a giant orb in the middle of the room. It is obvious that this orb is in fact the device that can cloak the warbird. I work on boosting the power of the communicator. One of my focuses is communicators. This means I use my focus with this action. What's that? It is a difficulty of 1 with engineering and control. Well, let me roll. I rolled a 3 and a 15. Since it was my focus, that meant that 3 counts as 2 successes and not just 1, because it was beneath my discipline of engineering. Therefore, I succeeded in my task because I got 2 successes, both from the 3. Wow, this is hard. I used 3 momentums to purchase 2 more 20-sided dice. Additionally, I realize I am doing these things to uphold the values of the Federation, so I use that value to use my determination. You know, a determination. It can only be used once a mission, and you can only use it when using a value. It gives you an extra dice that automatically rolls a 1. So now, since I used my 3 momentum to buy 2 extra 20-sided dice, I roll 4 dice, and I use a determination. I roll a 6, a 10, a 13, and a 19. This means I scored 5 successes. 2 from the determination, 1 from the 6, 1 from the 10, and 1 from the 13. Since the difficulty was only a 4, that means I both completed the task and I gained 1 momentum for the extra success. Great. I call for the Enterprise to beam us up.